Boy sees black girl making a hand signal and calls cops. What happens next is very shocking. Marcus, a 19-year-old boy living in a bustling city where everything runs at a relentless pace. His life is no different from many other young people pursuing big dreams in a challenging real world. As a server at a high-end French restaurant, Marcus faces work pressure every day, demanding customers, ever-changing requests, and sometimes long nights with no time to rest. Dreams of furthering his education, opening his own restaurant, or simply living a less stressful life seem to drift further and further away. Although he loves his job, Marcus cannot deny that the feeling of fatigue is gnawing away at him. He has to juggle long working hours and family responsibilities, trying to maintain his spirits without being swept away by the daily worries. The unanswered questions about the future sometimes make him feel helpless, but life goes on. Every evening, when the curtain of night falls, he continues his journey to work despite the heavy heart. On an evening like any other, Marcus boarded the bus to work. Just a fleeting moment, he was immersed in thoughts about work and unfulfilled ambitions. The bus was crowded, passengers hurriedly searching for a place to stand, and the hum of city life echoed steadily. Marcus stood in the corner, tired but also trying to take advantage of the rare moments to rest before the stressful work shift. However, a strange sight caught his attention. On the chair near the window, a strange man in a colorful outfit wearing a wide-brimmed hat seemed to be talking to a little girl sitting next to him. The girl, about 10 years old, had a pale face and a panicked look in her eyes, especially when the girl raised her hand to her neck, a gesture full of anxiety that Marcus could not ignore. The girl seemed to be trying to hide something, or perhaps signaling a danger that only the perceptive could notice. Although that night was just one of countless nights Marcus boarded this bus, the image of the frightened girl, her eyes filled with worry, lingered in his mind. He tried to detach himself from that thought, but it kept returning, leaving him with an inexplicable worry. However, work was still waiting for him, and with the responsibility of making a living, Marcus had to set aside his worries. A week after the strange encounter on the bus, Marcus saw the man and the little girl again in his restaurant. This time, the man was no longer wearing the flamboyant outfit as before. Instead, he was dressed in a smart suit, looking completely different, but there was a strange instability in his behavior. Marcus immediately noticed that although the man tried to appear calm, his eyes still showed signs of tension, glancing around unnaturally. There was something off. Marcus could clearly sense it, but he couldn't explain it. The girl sitting next to the man remained unchanged, her pale face and eyes filled with undisguised fear. When Marcus walked past their table, the girl looked at him like someone desperately seeking help. That gaze made Marcus's heart tighten. Although the girl is now trying to suppress her anxiety, the fear in her eyes cannot be hidden. A pleading look, as if the girl were conveying an unspoken message. Marcus couldn't turn a blind eye. While serving food to the table, Marcus paid more attention to the man's actions. He not only appeared anxious, but also had unusual gestures, as if trying to avoid contact with others. A sense of unease welled up in Marcus. He felt he was the only one who recognized the danger in the air. The girl remained silent, her hands gripping the napkin on the table tightly, but her eyes never left the man. With each passing second, Marcus's anxiety grew even more. The girl was not only afraid of the man, but also of something hidden behind his actions. How to help the girl? How to prevent her from having to continue suffering? The questions kept swirling in Marcus's mind, but they were overshadowed by work responsibilities. The manager had reminded him many times, asking him to focus on the task. "What are you doing? Focus on your work, Marcus." The manager's voice rang out, startling Marcus awake. But something in him couldn't turn a blind eye. Truly, Marcus could not ignore the worry, could not just stand by. He understands that this is not a normal situation. If he did nothing, there could be serious consequences. The decision suddenly came to him, and even though he knew he would have to face the manager's anger, Marcus still chose to do the right thing. He quietly left his desk, maintaining a calm demeanor as if nothing had happened. But inside, he felt like a wave was surging up. When he was out of the manager's sight, Marcus quickly took out his phone, his hands trembling, but still resolutely dialed 911. "There's a little girl in danger," he said, his voice hoarse but resolute. "The girl is in a very dangerous situation. I'm not sure what this man can do." Then he provided the restaurant's address and detailed information about the incident. Although he didn't know what would happen next, Marcus felt relieved that he had taken action. He could only hope that the police would arrive in time to save the girl from the clutches of that mysterious man. While waiting, Marcus's heart raced faster, and the anxiety continued to haunt him. Will he have done enough to save the girl? The emergency call had ended, but Marcus's mind could not find peace. He couldn't stop thinking about the little girl and that strange man. After providing all the information he knew to the police, Marcus returned to their table area, hoping to see them still there. But when he arrived, there was only an empty table left, with no trace of the man or the little girl. Everything was left with a strange silence, a space filled with anxious quiet. Marcus's heart raced in his chest. He felt like he had done something wrong. Maybe it was too late. But immediately, he remembered the BMW car that the man was driving. Marcus's mind immediately started working, quickly noting down the car's license plate number that he could still remember, albeit a bit vaguely, but he was sure it could help the police locate them. Determined not to let the incident end in ambiguity, Marcus quickly took out his phone once again and called the police. At this moment, he could only hope for what he had done. Marcus couldn't imagine the consequences if he didn't take action. The minutes dragged on endlessly, and despite providing all the information he had, his heart could not find peace. "Please come quickly. I don't know where they went," he silently prayed. More than an hour later, the police finally arrived. A patrol team and investigators quickly entered the restaurant, creating a tense atmosphere that made the surrounding space feel stagnant. Marcus stood at a distance, anxious and full of worry, not knowing what would happen next. A police officer approached Marcus, asking him about what had happened and about the car he had remembered. With each question, Marcus recounted the events without leaving out any details. The police officer listened attentively, then suddenly looked at his phone and immediately called a colleague. The police verified the information and immediately began the investigation. In just a few minutes, they identified information about the man Marcus had described. Victor Hayes, the man Marcus met, is none other than a criminal with a record. He was involved in many cases, from drug trafficking to kidnapping. This information was confirmed by the police as soon as they checked the data, and the story gradually became clear. What surprised Marcus was the connection between this man and the little girl, Lily. According to the police, Lily was kidnapped a few weeks ago and is being held hostage. The girl is a victim in a horrific kidnapping that few people know about. Victor Hayes is the one who kidnapped the girl while Lily was playing in the park. At that time, he took advantage of the situation to get the little girl out of her family's control, and since then, Lily was taken into a locked room where no one knew. All this information was like a shock to Marcus. He couldn't believe that he had inadvertently become a part of this incident. But when he heard the news that Lily had been rescued and reunited with her mother thanks to his actions, he felt as if a weight had been lifted off his shoulders. A feeling of relief and happiness surged within him, making him smile, although the joy still lingered in astonishment and had not yet completely faded. Lily is safe. The girl's mother arrived immediately after hearing the news, hugging her daughter tightly in her arms, thanking Marcus with a grateful look. And even though Marcus did not seek fame or gratitude, he still felt a great sense of pride welling up in his heart. At that moment, he understood that courage does not need to be applauded, but only requires actions that come from the heart. Marcus stood quietly in a corner, watching the touching reunion scene. Although his heart was still filled with indescribable emotions, Marcus knew he had done the right thing. And even though in that moment the world around was still filled with anxiety and uncertainty, at least one thing was certain: he had helped someone, saved a life. After the incident had settled down, Marcus was invited by Lily's family to a small gathering where they wanted to express their deep gratitude towards him. In the cozy home of the little girl's family, Lily and her mother looked at Marcus with eyes full of emotion. Lily's mother, with tear-filled eyes, held Marcus's hand and said with a choked voice, "Thank you, dear." If it weren't for you, I don't know what I would have done. Lily and I will never forget what you have done for us. Those words were not just simple thanks, but also profound understanding and boundless gratitude. Lily, the little girl who is now safe, held Marcus's hand sincerely, her eyes bright and full of emotion. That little girl, once a victim of a horrific kidnapping, can now stand beside her mother, safe and happy. That peace warmed Marcus's heart, even though he expected nothing in return for helping them. He just wanted to do the right thing, and now the heartfelt thanks from the mother and child made him feel that he truly mattered in this life. At the end of the meeting, Lily's mother handed Marcus a thick envelope. "This is a little something we want to give you for what you have done. Hopefully, it can help you continue on your path," she said gently, but with a serious tone. Marcus felt a bit embarrassed when receiving this money, as he had never thought that his help would be repaid in this way. However, he also did not want to refuse their kindness, as he knew it was the only way for them to express their deep gratitude. When he returned home, holding the money that Lily's family had given him, Marcus couldn't help but think about what had happened over the past period. He looked at the money, but instead of feeling happy about an unexpected gift, a different feeling arose within him, a strong urge. Marcus didn't want this money to be used just to meet temporary needs. He is 19 years old, and it's time to think seriously about his future. He always dreamed of going to university, but due to financial difficulties, that dream seemed still too far away. Now, with this money, Marcus realizes that he can fulfill his dream, even if it is a long and difficult road. After careful consideration, Marcus decided to use that money to enroll in a university where he could study culinary arts, a field he had long been passionate about. That was an opportunity for him to learn, grow, and fulfill his dream of becoming an excellent chef. This decision is not only a change in his life, but also a promise to himself that he will not let anything stop him from pursuing his passion. Even though life at the restaurant continued with the stressful working hours and pressure from the job, Marcus felt a significant change in his heart. He no longer felt stuck and exhausted like before. Instead, every morning when he wakes up, he feels motivated and hopeful. The job at the restaurant, though stressful, is no longer just a means to make a living. It has become a stepping stone that brings him closer to his goals. He knows that life won't be easy, but now Marcus feels more confident than ever because he has a clear purpose and a plan for the future. Marcus's life is beginning to turn a new page. Not only the hope he once lacked, but also the belief that sometimes unexpected and seemingly meaningless things can change a person's entire life. And Marcus understood that sometimes life will challenge you, but only when you dare to step out of your comfort zone can you discover the great opportunities waiting for you. The story of Marcus did not just stop at saving little Lily. It also became a great source of inspiration for many people. After everything was over, news of his brave actions spread quickly through local media, and people began to talk about him as a hero. Small newspapers, social media pages, and even people in the neighborhood kept sharing the story about Marcus, a young man who stood up in a dangerous situation to do the right thing, despite all the worries and risks. With the praise from the community and recognition from those around him, Marcus began to realize that his actions not only saved lives, but also brought about a profound internal change within him. He was no longer just a weary waiter, with long days that seemed never ending. Marcus realized that he had crossed an invisible barrier in life, a barrier of hesitation and shyness before making big decisions. He dared to step out of his comfort zone and take an action that even older people might hesitate to do. Although he did not seek fame or recognition, the reactions from the community made Marcus understand more about the power of courage. He realized that his actions were not just about saving a little girl, but also a reminder to everyone that each individual can make a difference, even in the smallest situations. His story was like a wave, spreading to others, making them think about what they could do in similar situations. And throughout this process, Marcus gradually realized that he himself had changed. Saving little Lily opened a new chapter in Marcus's life. Not only a change in his character, but also a new beginning for the journey ahead. He no longer felt uncertain about his future. The decision to pursue his dream of attending university was further solidified when he realized the importance of following his passion and doing what he truly believed in. But the most profound change was in the way he perceived himself and the world around him. With the spread of the story, Marcus received many interview invitations, compliments from friends, and even from people he had never met. They all see him as a symbol of courage and doing the right thing. And with each story he shares, Marcus feels he has become part of something greater, a movement promoting charitable and positive actions. However, deep down, Marcus is still just a simple boy who doesn't want to attract too much attention. He only wishes for one thing: to live a meaningful life, to do the things he loves, and to help those around him. And the story of Marcus, although it has become a great source of inspiration, it is he who has changed himself, daring to step out of his old shadow to pursue what he truly desires. Therefore, with each passing day, no matter how much his life changes, Marcus never forgets the most important thing: to do the right thing, to stand up courageously when necessary, and to never miss an opportunity to help others. That is how he will live his life. Marcus's story is not only a testament to courage, but also a profound lesson about life. Sometimes the right decisions not only help save others, but also open up new opportunities for oneself. Marcus, in that moment, was not only the one who saved little Lily, but he also saved himself, opening up a future full of hope that he had never dared to dream of before. His actions remind us that sometimes a right decision can change a whole life. The important lesson Marcus learned is that courage and determination to do the right thing can make a difference not only in the moment, but also in the long run in life. The courage to do the right thing, even when it is a risky and uncertain decision, can create powerful changes, not only for others, but also for the person taking that action. Marcus's story is a clear testament to how an ordinary person with determination and courage can change not only a destiny, but also many things in the surrounding world. Marcus, from a shy boy living in the shadows of anxiety and work pressure, stepped out of his comfort zone to become a true hero. Through that event, he not only learned how to face difficulties, but also how to stand firm when confronted with challenges. Marcus matured, not only in terms of age, but also in spirit. He became someone ready to protect the weak, ready to stand up when he saw something unfair. Throughout this journey, Marcus realized that true strength is not about physical power, but the ability to do what is right, even at a cost. Through this story, we realize that sometimes small but meaningful actions can open up a brighter future for both ourselves and others. And Marcus, a young man, has become a symbol of maturity through his courageous actions and determination.